The following information is a continuation of the visions that John received in chapter 13. In the last video, we learnt of the first beast widely known as the Antichrist. The link of that video is in the description box below. And now in this lesson, we are to learn of the second beast of Revelation 13. But before we continue, this video is part of a playlist called The Prophecies of Daniel and Revelation. To watch this full playlist, the link is in the description below. And now let's jump right in. This video is called The Second Beast, Revelation 13. Chapter 13 of the book of Revelation continues with the rising of a new beast out of the earth, lamb-like in nature. With all diligent Bible study and proof, let us dive into details. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Revelation chapter 13 verse 11. This is a beast, referring to the symbols that God uses to communicate to us through prophetic vision. A beast refers to a kingdom or a nation. Daniel chapter 7 verse 23 says, "Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth." So this beast is a kingdom or a nation that comes up out of the earth. And you can actually remember that the first beast came up out of the sea. And according to Revelation 17 verse 15, a sea is a densely populated area. If the earth or the land is the opposite of the sea, the earth or the land becomes a sparsely populated area. This nation rose up from a sparsely populated area. The beast had two horns like a lamb. What is a horn in the Bible prophetically? Daniel 7:24 says, "And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings which shall arise." A horn in the prophetic view represents a king. You can clearly remember that the first beast had 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns. But the second beast had 2 horns, no crowns. So we can say that these 2 horns are 2 principles upon which this nation operates. And remember, it is a lamb-like beast, meaning it is a lamb-like nation. Who is the lamb in the Bible? It is Jesus Christ. This just shows that this nation is a Christ-like nation. It is a Christian nation, and the 2 horns are 2 Christ-like principles. What are the 2 Christ-like principles? Or what are the 2 principles of Christianity? In Matthew chapter 22, a man came to Jesus asking, "Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus said unto him, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these 2 commandments hang all the law and the prophets." Matthew chapter 22, verse 36 to 40. The 2 principles mentioned here are love the Lord your God and love your neighbor. This is why the law was written by God on 2 tables of stone, because of a very specific reason. The first table contained the first 4 commandments which explain our duty towards God, and this is governed by the spiritual kingdom. The second table of stone contained the last 6 commandments which explain our duty towards man, our neighbor. This is governed by the civil power. Jesus Christ laid out these 2 principles even clearer in verses 16 to 21, where he said, "Render therefore unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." Matthew chapter 22 verse 21. And in context, Caesar represents the civil power, which is the government, and God controls the spiritual kingdom, which is the church. Christ emphasizes to give Caesar what belongs to him, and to God what belongs to him. Christ actually was emphasizing the separation between the church and the government. So the 2 Christ-like principles are church and government, and the separation of the 2. So this Christ-like nation will acknowledge the 2 principles of Christ, the government and the church, and their separation. This beast rises in the same time that the first beast receives its deadly wound. The first beast is the papacy. The papacy received the deadly wound in 1798. So the second beast, this Christ-like nation, comes into being in the late 1700s. Let us make a review of the descriptions of this second beast. It is a Christian nation that rises in a sparsely populated land around the late 1700s and recognizes both church and the government and the separation thereof. What is the only nation in the modern world today that matches these descriptions? It is the United States of America. As a quick reminder, all the beasts in the Bible in Bible prophecy were superpowers in their times. The winged lion, which was Babylon, the bear, which was Middle Persia, the leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, which was Greece, and the diverse beast with iron teeth, which was Rome. They were all superpowers. And since America was shown as a beast, prophecy predicted it would be a superpower. Is America a superpower? The United States of America is actually the most influential superpower in the world today after the papacy. The beast came up from the earth or the land, which we saw as a sparsely populated area. Did the United States of America come up in a sparsely populated area? When America was first discovered, the land was sparsely populated. In fact, statistics show that the US population was by 2.5 million in 1776. It is more than 130 times larger today. The beast came up in approximately the same time that the papacy received its deadly wound. That's by 1798. The beast would come up at the end of the 1700s. Did the USA come up in the late 1700s? In 1776 was the Declaration of Independence for the USA. 1783 was the end of the Revolutionary War against Great Britain. From 1787 and 1797, George Washington served as the first president of America. And between the same time, the US Constitution was ratified and framed. So by the time the papacy received its deadly wound in 1798, America was quietly establishing its power and dominance. Does the USA recognize the true principles of Christ, the church and the government, and the separation of the two? America has a constitution protecting the separation of church and state. The First Amendment in the Constitution of the US states, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof." This freedom of religion is the one that qualifies America to be a Christ-like nation, because even God gives us free will and never forces. This is the reason why America came up as a republic and a Protestant nation. Republicanism is a kingdom without a king, and Protestantism is a church without a pope. And this is the reason why the founding fathers came to America. They were trying to detach themselves from the king of Britain and from a king who runs both church and state, the Pope. The United States of America is the only entity in the world that fits the descriptions of the second beast of Revelation 13 perfectly. And the Apostle John says that this second beast, the United States of America, will speak as a dragon. The dragon is Satan. We know that Satan uses force and intimidation to gain followers, which is the opposite of God, who gives us free will and never forces. This shows that the United States will change from being a freedom-loving nation to a nation that uses force to impose its laws. The United States will change from a nation of religious liberty to a nation of forced worship, which will be contrary to its constitution. Prophecy goes on to show that the second beast, the United States of America, will exercise power of the first beast, the papacy. We remember that the papacy in its prime time denied people freedom of worship and killed whosoever would oppose it. According to prophecy, the United States will repeat the same. America will also cause the earth to worship the first beast, the papacy. America will also make an image and likeness to the papacy and give life to it. The second beast, the first beast, and the image of the beast, these three powers in coalition would impose the mark of the beast and kill whosoever will not worship the beast, his image, or receive his mark. So how will this exactly happen? How will this end-time coalition look like? Let us meet in my next video, where I will talk of the image of the beast and the mark of the beast. This video is part of a playlist, The Prophecies of Daniel and Revelation. Use the link in the description to watch this playlist in order. And kindly friends, I request you to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications of a new video. This channel is called The Lamp of Prophecy. With wishing you God's blessings, I sign out.